Well, guys, it looks like Lennar's profits have tanked according to their new quarterly report, and a bunch of articles jumping on top of that. We're going to dive into that here today as well. But I'm also going to talk about the local builder catastrophes that are going on. I've shown you guys auctions from builders that have gone under here recently. Now we have another, I wouldn't say small builder, but definitely not the size of, like a DR or Lennar, actually having short sales on their new construction homes. Never lived in short sales. That's the climate right now. It's absolutely insane. We're going to go over a lot more stuff, but I want to kick it off with the rates. We got the rate cut, guys. And guess what? Mortgage rates went up like most people knew they would because it was priced in. So immediately following that, I'm starting to see advertisements for 2-1 buy downs again. And if you guys don't know what a 2-1 buy down is, it's basically they'll buy your rate down for 2 years, the builder, and then it goes to a final prevailing rate in the final. Or there's different structures for it. There's different ways to do it, but that's the gist of it. It's an adjustable rate mortgage just by another name. It's basically what it is. We saw a lot of these in 23, and the reasoning was people were going to do these temporary rate buy downs and then refinance when the rates were going to get cut, 6 times in 2024, which we know never happened. Actually has caused some of this short sale problem. Actually has caused some people to have to sell at a loss. And I don't know, it's how quickly we jump back into our old ways. So for a while there, you could get maybe a 4.9, 5.5 fixed 30-year. It's never going to change. They would buy you down to. But now they threw out a 1.99% APR for the first year last week. One builder put out there. Second year, I think, was like 3.5. Third year was like 5 something. So we're back to the buy downs. We're back to date the rate, marry the house again. That's the strategy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Especially knowing all the danger that caused last time. Now, I will say they're a little different from regular adjustable rate mortgages, which, you never know what those are going to go to. On a buy down, you know what the final rate's going to be, and you have to qualify at that final rate. So if your rate is going to go to 6% at the end of the buy down promotion period, you have to be able to show that you can swing this house currently at 6% interest, which, surprises a lot of people when I say that. They're like, well, then how are people losing homes because of these buy downs? Well, because people are people and they overextend themselves while they have a low rate on their house. They think, oh, I can afford this obscenely priced car or this vacation because I have such a low rate on the house, and I'll definitely refinance before that comes due. And, it's just human nature at this point, unfortunately. So that's what most people got caught up in who are in the situation of having to sell. Now, if you took the rate buy down and you just wrote it out and you were financially responsible with it, probably was fine. So I just thought it was nuts to see those coming back on the table. So back to Lennar, the second largest home builder in the nation. Take a look at this chart. You can see they have cut their average selling price 22% since the peak of 2022. Now, I'm in Rotunda West today because last time I gave a Lennar update, I was in Rotunda West, and I felt that was appropriate. I also had to show houses down here this morning. But when we checked in with Lennar at the beginning of the summer, their stance was, we're slashing and burning. We're just going to outcompete everybody on price and incentives. And that's kind of what they've done. Now, in their most recent report, their profit margins are down from 23% approximately to 18% on their new builds. So they're taking haircuts. The 18% ain't nothing to scoff at, though. They're taking haircuts. And they're trying to position themselves as the best deal. Because with these price drops, as we've mentioned, guys, they're also doing these incentives and these rate buy downs. So it looks like, based on their quarterly results, that their sales actually slightly ticked up from the same quarter last year. So they're holding pace, and that's what I think they're attempting to do. I think they at least just want to sell the same amount of inventory they've been selling, if not more, and they're willing, as you can see, to take the haircut for it. So You know, what's it going to do to the other builders, the other big builders, some of which who have opted to raise their prices, as I told you guys, in response to the lowering of, well, the temporary lowering of rates, because now they're on the way back up. It's going to create an interesting dynamic, and some of the stuff's too good to turn down, guys. I mean, yeah, I saw a guy saying, I bought a house, I got 6% concessions from the seller, I had to take it, it was free money. It's not free money. I want to clarify that. It is not free, guys. Even these rate buy downs and the closing cost incentives are coming out of your pocket at the end of the day. You need to understand that. It's in the purchase price. It's baked in. So that's the argument everybody's making, is that without these backdoor price drops, as they're calling them, prices would decline. We've done videos on that. They're absolutely right. But I mean, sometimes on $400,000 houses, these builders are eating 30 grand to buy your interest rate down or to give you closing cost assistance. But you need to understand that's your money, because it's in the purchase price. So you're paying the purchase price and then you're getting the incentives. You're just basically buying yourself down into your own loan. That's fine for some people. Some people don't like that. Some people say, well, hey, I'd rather have a lower purchase price and get a lower tax bill than have this. But it doesn't seem to be the majority. I mean, it's a lot of people go for it. And if you pay cash, they give you even less, actually. They will come off the price more, it seems, but they give you way less incentives. And real quick, guys, if you enjoy this content in any way, please consider hitting that like button, maybe subscribing to the channel or hyping the video. I'm not entirely sure what that is at this point, but someone told me they hyped it. I'm looking into it. It's really appreciated, guys. I thank every single one of you who watches these and who has continued to stick with me growing the subscriber base. It just kind of blows me away. And I'm very grateful that I'm able to do this. So thank you all, and we'll get back to the video. Moving on to these builder short sales. Guys, what happened here? What happened here? What were they thinking? Even in Rotunda West, tons of new construction sitting here. Go across the street to South Gulf Cove. It's just laying around. Half-built stuff, and they're still breaking ground on things. You know, I think it was a mix back in 22 of we're going to flood in here with investment, and whether you were a landlord, you were a short-term investor, or you were a builder. And just everybody got caught with their pants down. It should be studied how bad this has backfired for a lot of these investors here, which is why no more are coming in, because they're watching what's happening, which also hurts our sales. But builders came from all over the country to just slap any house they could up here in 21, 22, even 23. Not the big guys, small guys. And it's funny because when you go through some of their homes, they all kind of shared the same floor plan. It's like they all downloaded the basic floor plan from ChatGPT. It's like, yeah, we're all going to build this house. And you can see multiple builders practically creating the same model with small touches. It really has not panned out. It's also caused a lot of our inventory saturation. And quite frankly, some of them are not very well built because they were built in the middle of the pandemic in shortages, labor shortages, product shortages, stuff sitting, trusses that used to sit out in yards for months exposed to the elements, shingles, as I've said here, like Rotunda West, that were just on a shipping container for God knows how long, dried out. It's crazy. Like we were getting stories that people were getting clothes with mold in them because they had sat in these shipping containers so long when they ordered online. It's the same thing with the home products, guys, unfortunately. And seeing some really shoddy work. We did a tour of a house down here built in 22 a few days ago, and it was beat up. I don't know if they were settlement cracks, if they were structural, what they were, but cracking all along the exterior of the home. The pool was ruined. Needed a complete resurface. And I'm like, man, this pool's 3 years old. What is going on? So, something to keep in mind. Hate to say it. Saw another house, actually showed another home because this goes to not just new construction, guys, new building. This goes to remodeling. So a lot of remodels and things that were done during that time were also extremely high priced. People were charging $15,000 to put a shower in people's bathrooms, and they were paying it. But the quality was kind of the same. And the supplies were kind of the same. So we went to a pool that got resurfaced in 2022. And I looked down in the water. The agent was with us. And she's like, yeah, I got resurfaced. This looks good. And I'm looking down. Chunks of the wall falling off. And I'm like, did they get a warranty? Oh, I don't know. And a lot of people didn't back then. It was so crazy. A lot of people didn't get a warranty. There's no guarantee of work. You'll never see those businesses again. And yeah, you got a 3-year-old pool resurfaced where chunks of the walls falling off now. What do you do about that? Okay, so this is one of the homes for the builder that is having short sales, pre-foreclosure auctions on all their properties. As you can see here, short sale, builder closeout sale. This is Carpenter Homes here in Port Charlotte. This particular property is on Peachland Boulevard, which is tough to begin with, but this is down to $299 for a 1,600 square foot home. Really a nice sized kitchen. It's not a bad little property, especially for locals, I don't think, but you know, apparently the market has spoken and they can't get it done. Not crazy about the flooring in the bedrooms here. But I will say, like I mentioned, Peachland Boulevard, let me pull it up on Google here. This is Peachland Boulevard. It is one of the major thoroughfares in Port Charlotte. So it connects Kings Highway 75 with 41 and Murdoch Circle. So this road is heavily trafficked at all hours of the day. Hard sell anywhere on here. But they also have this one on Windward, which is listed as pre-foreclosure auction. They have several here on Rose Apple. So they have a total of 7 homes that I found that are under this short sale pre-foreclosure situation currently. Just hit the market. Views and saves, not looking too hot. I'm kind of surprised. This one's $279 for 1,500 square feet. Where is this located? Oh, yeah. Okay, so here's another issue. Veterans Boulevard is right there, and that is basically a 4-lane highway in everything but name. So you're going to have a lot of road noise there. That one's going to be a little discounted. So this was built in 24, started at $350, and honestly, even in 24, I don't think that was a terrible price, but they just can't get it done here. There might be some stuff going on behind the scenes, but regardless, they have 7 of these properties currently in just the immediate area of Port Charlotte. And you know that's going to have an effect on other new construction comps. Regardless if this is a distressed situation, it's going to influence the numbers one way or the other. Now, since we're talking distressed properties and we're talking Lennar, I figured let's bring up one of their new constructions here. This is on 10385 Sunday Drive. This is in South Gulf Cove, one of the most inundated new construction markets in this area. 3 beds, 3 baths, 2,650 square feet with a 3-car garage for $418. Let's take a look. They just did a huge price drop on this, and I'll show you guys in a second. But let's see what you get inside. I'm sure this is the model. This looks like their Somerville model. They have a bunch of these around. This is a humongous house. Honestly, you're definitely not going to get a pool at that price. So before anybody asks, this is probably without a pool, but again, we're going through the model photos, so kind of hard to see. In case anybody's wondering where this home is, that is where it is located in South Gulf Cove. So you get all the hazards of the flood zone without any of the benefits of a view or actual boating access. So look at this, guys. $116,000 price drop on this property just a couple of days ago. But, oh, what is this? What is this positive number here, guys? Oh, that's right. They had increased it 30% prior to that. So I've been seeing people boast this online that, wow, look at this great deal. It's $116,000 off. Well, they just raised the price on September 8th by 30%. And this is what I was telling you guys, where some builders a couple of weeks ago were like, I'm going to jack up all my prices. Rates are coming down. And then 11 days later, reality hits, and here we are. Or is this just to make it look like a deal? I don't know, because they had a pending sale here at $419 back in July. Apparently that didn't go through, but to come back on the market almost 30% higher than what you got your last offer on. That's bold, guys. Let's take a look at the price history. Hovered around the 400s, but this thing's been all over the place. This started at $530 last June. And now, regardless of what all this is, I don't even know what's going on here. And I told you guys, they did this last September. I told you they jacked the prices up last year when rates came down a little bit. And here is the exact proof in the pudding. Literally September again, they had raised the prices. And I guess by December figured out that wasn't going to work. But very interesting strategy here. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about this house at this price in the comments as well. as I go by this piece of land listed, I did mention in a previous video that land is holding up much better than actual homes are, guys. But that doesn't mean it's not down. It's just not down to the extent that it has been. I mean, I had a guy call me up in Gulf Cove, and he was like, hey, got this single lot, or no, it was a double lot. I bought it for $50K 2 years ago. What's it worth now, like 80? And I was like, no, it's 50, 45, 50. You overpaid, unfortunately. They didn't want to hear that. And I said, I'm not the guy. I can't help you. Nothing I can do for you there, unfortunately. But just because it hasn't declined numerically in some places, I mean, when you consider the purchasing power of what that 50K can do for you now, and that the lot is still worth 50K after 2-3 years, yeah, you lost money, especially if you factor in closing costs on both ends on it. There's just no way around it. So it's not necessarily that land value has gone up, guys. Don't think that. And it's certainly not gone up to the extent where it was in 2004, 2005 in some cases. I mean, I have people come in and show me standard 10,000 square foot lots. And they're like, yeah, I paid $40,000 for this in 2004. And it's in an area with no power. Roads aren't paved. And I'm like, what can we do? Like, nothing. I don't know. It's worth like $15,000 if you ask me. Maybe that. I don't know. So not to say that it's outright declined. It's kind of just been more stable than what we're seeing in the housing market. But if you look at it from the way I explained, yeah, there's losses there, depending on where it is. You know, if you've got a waterfront sailboat access lot in an area like Punta Gorda Isles where they aren't making any more of those, then yeah, it's going to be a little different. Now, speaking of that, I actually saw a really cool thing while I was walking around with the family in Punta Gorda. I saw a seawall being replaced, and I'd never seen that. I want to share that with you. I think that's what it is, but in any event, I thought this video was really cool. Check it out.
So this is what I walked past, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't have any clue what this actually is, but it appears to be a seawall to me. I tried to Google image search. That's what it mentioned it was. Again, never seen one of these up close or installed or out of the water. So if that's what they look like, that's pretty cool. It looks like this is the access point where they were putting stuff into the water. They're not actually repairing the seawall here. If that's the case, seems like this is where they're loading up and then shipping out to repair other parts. It's just a cleared lot that I was walking by. But yeah, I thought it was super interesting. Again, if I'm off on my analysis of what this is, somebody who knows, I'm sure somebody who's watching knows, clarify in the comments. But either way, thought these were pretty cool. Wanted to show them.
So a lot of people don't know this about Rotunda West, but the reason it's called Rotunda is because it's circular, but it had all these canals in it. And initially, from what I'm told, this was supposed to be Gulf access. So these canals were all supposed to connect to the Gulf of Mexico. And back in the 70s, 80s, I can't remember when it is, someone's going to come in the comments and tell me exactly when it was. The Army Corps came in, found an endangered species. I think it was a snail. Shut that down. Never made the connection out to the Gulf. So you have a lot of canals in Rotunda with the golf course in the middle that unfortunately don't go anywhere. And interesting that it's never been explored to reopen that. They are considering that in some areas of Port Charlotte, opening some paths. And could you imagine what that would do for the canal home values here? Now, assuming they update the bridges, because as you saw back there, that one was way too low to get under, but it's interesting. I wonder if that'll ever come about. Well, that's all I got for today, guys. If you like this video, give me a like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.